WHAS TV 11 presents University of Louisville basketball. Sponsored by Arby's Roast Beef Restaurants in Louisville.
Kentucky was the showcase for NCAA basketball. Numerous NCAA Final Fours were held here. Here we are in 1984, and it looks brand spanking new again. We're in renovated Freedom Hall as the Louisville Cardinals kick off the home season for 1984-85. Hello, everybody. I'm Dave Conrad. With me is Paul Rogers. Tonight, the Cardinals, coming off that great win over Indiana, challenge the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth. Both clubs, Paul, coming in here undefeated after one game in the early season.
Louisville won impressively over Indiana, a very highly ranked team, maybe too high, some people think. Virginia Commonwealth got their win 2 nights ago. Louisville, though, really played well against Indiana. They had good passing and good scoring. Billy Thompson there for Louisville. Milt Wagner was hot, had the kind of game that Louisville needs. But if there's any question to come out of that game, it's that maybe Indiana wasn't quite as good as people might have thought, particularly in the quickness area, which is something Virginia Commonwealth does possess, and Louisville will have a much more difficult time tonight.
This is one of the most important dates to remember in University of Louisville athletic history. Tonight is the dedication of the renovated Freedom Hall here in Louisville. More than 19,000 fans on hand. And also, Louisville tonight, or actually this afternoon, officially became one of the few schools ever to have a coach who's won a national championship in basketball and a coach who's won one in football.
Really an exciting day. When Howard Schnellenberger was named officially at the press conference today, he got a big round of applause from the people there. It was an exciting moment when it finally became official, and you can feel it here tonight with the new arena, the new coach, and everybody's really excited over what's been one of the big days in UL sports history.
The Louisville basketball Cardinals will get a thundering ovation when they are introduced tonight, especially because of that great upset win over Indiana, and then Howard Schnellenberger will get a tremendous hand, too, I'm sure.
I'm sure he will at that. Looking forward to the game.
Louisville, Virginia Commonwealth. We'll be right back. Fans saying hello to a sea of red, Louisville Cardinal fans. Let's try to pick up some of this history that's being made down on the court. We are still waiting for the introduction of the new head football coach at the University of Louisville. This is a very special night, a red letter day in University of Louisville history, as Louisville's preparing for its home opener of the basketball season against the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth. Former Governor John Y. Brown among the dignitaries out on the court right now here in Freedom Hall. There have been several renovations in 1984, the renovation of Freedom Hall, of course, and then also the renovation of the University of Louisville basketball team with the graduations of Lancaster Gordon and Charles Jones, both playing professional basketball now. Phyllis George Brown, former governor's wife. We have 19,000 tonight here in Freedom Hall, and no one is sitting right now. Everybody's standing up to say hello to Denny Crum as he brings his Louisville Cardinals in here for the home opener, and to hear what former Governor John Y. Brown had to say. And in a few minutes, we should be able to hear from Howard Schnellenberger. There's Denny Crum, who has been promised a facility such as this ever since he came here to the University of Louisville. And now he has one. There's Howard Schnellenberger, the new head football coach at the University of Louisville, shaking hands with Denny Crum, both championship coaches. Schnellenberger at Miami, Denny Crum at Louisville.
Denny Crum played a very active part in talking with Howard Schnellenberger. Denny says anything that's good for the city and for the university is good for me too. There's no problem there with Denny Crum and an ego or anything else.
Schnellenberger, a Louisville native, coming home. You can go back home.
My wife Beverly, and all the Schnellenbergers. I want to just say this to you. If we can bring the enthusiasm and the honest-to-goodness noise and football program that we have in this basketball arena, I'm going to be a happy person. And I want to all the things that you've done. This is terrific opportunity. Governor Brown and all the rest of us. Thank you very much. Thank you.
At the press conference today, Howard Schnellenberger said having an outstanding basketball program, as the University of Louisville does, can do nothing but help. He cited as a perfect example, if you've got a half dozen recruits in here tonight, football recruits, and they see this new building, this kind of enthusiasm, how is that going to hurt football? So I don't think there'll be any problem with Howard Schnellenberger and Denny Crum together, and I'm looking forward, of course, to the basketball season right now, but looking on down the road, Dave, it's really exciting to look ahead to next football season.
Indeed it is, and one of the comments that I've heard quite a bit is it worth the kind of money that the University of Louisville is supposedly paying Howard Schnellenberger? And the other night I had a conversation with Denny Crum, and he says, I don't know what he's going to be making, what he will be paid, but let's say, for example, that he brings in creates a lot of enthusiasm and excitement here, and the attendance increases by 10,000 people a home game. 10,000 times maybe 6 home games. All right, is $600,000 additional income to the university. So if he makes half that, it's certainly beneficial. He's worth it. The introduction to the starting lineups tonight, that's Michael Brown, one of the forward spots. He is 6'5". Number 30, 6'7" at the other wing. That's Neil Wake.
I may have to just...
Rams of Virginia Commonwealth already have their opener out of the way. This is their second game of the season. They beat East Carolina by 11 earlier. Mike Schlegel, number 43, 6'8", scored 21 points against East Carolina. Alvin Duncan is number 5. He is a 6'3" guard, 24 points in the opener. And Rolando Lamb, number 20. He scored 7 points, but he also had 5 assists in that opener. J.D. Barnett, the head basketball coach at VCU. And now the homestanding University of Louisville basketball Cardinals. It's been the longest pregame, I think, Paul, in maybe Guinness Book records. Starting at one of the forward spots. Out of Louisville Moore High School, Manuel Forrest. Billy Thompson, what a game he had against Indiana. 12 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. In the middle, 6'11", sophomore Barry Sumter from Lovejoy, Illinois. We're still waiting for the guard spots to be introduced here, and certainly no surprise. Welcome back to Freedom Hall. Milt Wagner, the senior out of Camden, New Jersey. And at the other guard spot from Ashland, Fairview, 6'4" junior Jeff Hall. A most successful career at the University of Louisville. Denny Crum begins another season here in Freedom Hall. The opening lineups have been introduced. The officials for tonight's game. All Metro Conference.
They are a Metro Conference crew. Sometimes you'll get a split crew, but those 3 officials, John Clougherty, Ben Dunn, and Steve Nicoleret, are all members of the Metro Conference officiating crew.
The Sun Belt Conference champions 3 of the last 5 years, when we're talking about the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth. They are favored to win that conference this year, Paul. They have all 5 starters back. They won 23 games last year. They are favored to win the conference over UAB, who has already defeated Illinois when the Illini were ranked number 2. That came up in Alaska.
Well, we all know how meaningless preseason rankings are, and that's just something that Virginia Commonwealth is going to have to take into consideration. They got to go out and play. They got a tough test here tonight, but Louisville has a tough test here tonight. Virginia Commonwealth is a team that maybe from a national standpoint isn't known that well in their name, but believe me, basketball coaches and teams know them. They're a very good team. As you saw a moment ago, they've won the Sun Belt Conference, either the league or the tournament every year the last 5 years. They're the winningest team in the Sun Belt Conference. They're a team that will change defenses a lot, run a lot of motion offense, and Louisville's not going to have any cakewalk tonight, I don't think.
Barry Sumter at 6'11" to go up against Mike Schlegel at 6'8". Louisville controls the tip. Sumter pulls it back to his own hands, and Louisville's on the attack. Boy, what a gorgeous facility this is. This great new building, renovated Freedom Hall in Louisville. 19,000 strong on hand tonight. Most wearing red. Sumter looking for Thompson down low on the left side, being double teamed. His shot is short, knocked out of bounds, I believe off the leg of Neil Wake of Virginia Commonwealth, so it belongs to Louisville.
It was a man-to-man defense for Virginia Commonwealth to start out.
Jeff Hall ought to bury that. Boy, that's a gimme for Jeff Hall. You're playing golf with him out there standing alone on that inbounds play. You'd say that's within the leather, right? Pick it up. 2-0. Louisville jumps on top as Hall hits. Token pressure applied early in this basketball game by the Cardinals as the Rams bring it into the front court. That's Rolando Lamb over to Brown. They'll swing their forwards outside too, Paul, just like Louisville does. Calvin Duncan rebounded on the miss. Goaltending called against Barry Sumter. That was a late whistle, and I was surprised.
I thought it was a goaltend, but it was a late whistle. I thought for a moment he might get away with it. Sumter wearing number 11 this year. He and Mark McSwain both with new numbers.
So did the coach of Virginia Commonwealth think that for a minute he might get away with it. Thompson into the front court, down to Manuel. Manuel goes baseline, triple team. Took it away from him. Calvin Duncan comes out of there with it. Into the front court, drops it off to Lamb. Picked up by Billy T. Back out front. We are tied at 2-2. A lot of movement inside. A lot of picks. This offense that the Rams use, Paul, does remind you of Louisville. They move around inside. Nice pass inside, and Schlegel lays it up and in.
They do a lot of movement, and they do like to get the ball inside, just like that, to Mike Schlegel.
It is 4-2, Rams leading the Cardinals. Man-to-man defense being used by Virginia Commonwealth. Barry Sumter, top of the key to Wagner. Jeff Hall has hit the only basket so far for Louisville. Gets it back from Manuel on the left side, and they'll have to bring it out and set it up all over again. We're just a few minutes into the first half here as Milt Wagner misfires. It is 4-2 Rams, and they can take an even bigger lead with a basket here. Baseline low. They'll bring it back out front. Schlegel Had a notion, didn't take the shot over Barry Sumter. Looking inside, no one there, so they'll bring it to the top of the key and then swing it left again. A lot of motion. Jumper, left side, no. Tipped out of bounds. It'll belong to Louisville, I believe, yes.
Michael Brown went over Milt Wagner to knock it out of bounds. In fact, really might have fouled Milt the way he went over the top of him, but it is Louisville's ball out of bounds.
Cardinals here with an opportunity to tie this basketball game. Stay with us at halftime. We'll hear from the new head football coach at the University of Louisville, Howard Schnellenberger.
They've switched to a 3-2 zone this time.
Wagner over to Jeff Hall, brings it back out front. The Rams very aware that you can't let Jeff alone on the left side. So they put some good pressure on him there. Milt Wagner almost had the steal. Excuse me, Manuel Forrest. Left side, Rams fire, no. Rebounded by Billy Thompson and a foul call. Against number 30, I believe, Neil Wake. Got the ball down low for an unmolested shot. Thompson had good inside position that time, and Wake came over his back to commit the foul. Louisville still looking for a basket to go along with the one Jeff Hall already scored.
Virginia Commonwealth full court pressing now. Both teams using a lot of pressure.
Lost out of bounds. It was tipped by Rolando Lamb. Still belongs to Louisville. Denny Crum very calm at the time being. To his right, of course, as we looked at him, was Wade Houston. Bobby Dotson to his left. Billy Thompson looking inside for Hall as he rubs off the guard, but wasn't open. Jeff inside to Billy Teaves, triple team. Inside to Barry, and he's fouled. Fouled by Neil Wake. That's his second very quick foul. That was a good return pass that time, Paul, by Billy T. And when that ball goes inside, look at the crowd that he draws. That's a nice pass.
Billy is an excellent passer, had 7 assists against Indiana, and while he's known as a man with a lot of great offensive moves, those moves also, just when he'll draw people around him, he'll dish the ball off.
Alvin Robinson comes into the lineup for Virginia Commonwealth. Manuel Forrest fires left side, and we have a tie game. It's 4-4. Lamb down the lane, lays it up. Nope, didn't get it. Charge or...
They called a block.
They called the blocking foul.
It's on Sumter.
That's his first. Barry had not established his position right there. You can see he was still moving when Lamb took it to the hole. So he'll be shooting 2. Barry Sumter did draw a charging foul at Indiana. It's an important call at the time, too. Rolando Lamb hits the free throw to give Virginia Commonwealth a 5-4 advantage right now over Louisville. In the opener of the season against East Carolina, Lamb only shot 1 free throw. He made that one. Good pressure. Billy T in trouble for just a minute. Drops it off to Jeff Hall. He'll fire it left side, short. Rebounded, Barry Sumter in the lane. Puts it back up off the glass. Didn't get it. Tipped by Manuel. Didn't get it. Rams come out of there with it, and they're on the move. Going the other way, that's Lamb. Swings it over to Duncan. Had a notion, but he couldn't put it up. Too far out. Too much pressure right there. Schlegel inside. Short. I think Barry got a piece of that one. We're going the other way. Here come the Cardinals to Billy Thompson. Inside, lays it up and in. We're tied again at 6-all. This basketball game, Paul, has all the markings of a darn good one tonight. Pass inside, missed it. Puts it back up, missed that one. Pulled down by Manuel Forrest. Wagner. Pass tipped out of bounds by Lamb. It's intended for Jeff Hall.
Virginia Commonwealth's strength over the years has been their defense, and you'll notice if Louisville gets many runouts, well, they won't get many runouts, period. They're going to get back defensively.
Didn't get the same result as before on the same inbounds pass. From underneath, the screen was set up right at the free throw line, and Jeff Hall fired from 20, and he missed that one. We're tied at 6-all. Louisville's home opener for 1984-85, foul call against Jeff Hall. Denny Crum very quickly up out of his seat. He did not agree with that call. He thought Jeff had
It's another one of
position.
those that it's going to be pretty close. Jeff didn't really have his position established, but then again, Duncan may have ducked the shoulder in just a little bit. A call that could probably go either way, and it went against Jeff Hall.
Calvin Duncan is out of the lineup for the Rams. And in is number 33, Don Franco. We are tied at 6-all. 15 minutes remaining here in the first half. It's been a slow start to this basketball game. A lot of movement in this offense by Virginia Commonwealth. And you have to play switching defense and good defense in order to stop them. Mike Schlegel puts the Rams back in the lead. It's 8-6. Hall back out to Billy T. Looking inside. Berry turnaround jumper. Yes.
That's what Berry likes to do, and that's what they need out of him, is they get the ball in there to him about 5 to 8 feet from the basket and let him just turn and put it in.
Billy T. picking up with the assist where he left off up at Indiana. Shot by Schlegel. Misses, and Billy Thompson pulls it down. Long pass. Milt Wagner up. Yes, what a move by Wagner, the senior from Camden.
You hear people say Louisville is composed of athletes. Well, that was an athletic move. Milt chasing down the pass and somehow getting the basket, and Louisville gets a turnover, and they're going to get it right back.
They almost were able to pick off that steal there by Jeff Hall, but it went out of bounds, belongs to Commonwealth. When we come back, there's a timeout in Louisville. Be back in a minute. We have played 6 minutes of this home opener tonight for the Louisville Cardinals, and Louisville is leading Virginia Commonwealth. It is 10-8. Cardinals shooting 42%. They've taken a dozen shots and made 5 of those. The Rams of Virginia Commonwealth have taken 10 and made only 3 for 30%. Rebounds are fairly even this early in the basketball game. 7 for the Cardinals, 6 for Virginia Commonwealth. But Louisville also has 5 assists, Paul, and 4 of those belong to that man right there, Billy Thompson.
They just had the inaugural wave around the new Freedom Hall during that timeout. Crowd enjoyed it. Everybody got up as they went all the way around. Louisville with the early 2-point lead, depending on which scoreboard you look at. I've found one kink in the new building. They've got the guests on the wrong side of the scoreboard in one end zone, and it actually shows Virginia Commonwealth ahead, but it is 10-8 Louisville.
Rondo Lamb into the front court. Calvin Duncan is back into the game for Virginia Commonwealth and then returns to Lamb. Those are the 2 guards who started this basketball game. The Rams looking inside.
Louisville has McSwain and Crook both in. Herbert Crook, a freshman.
That's the first substitution tonight for Denny Crum. McSwain, a sophomore, saying he wants to play like a sophomore this season instead of playing a little bit helter-skelter and sometimes with his head in a cloud the way some freshmen will. Jumper by Duncan is good, and we're tied again. It's 10-all.
Basically, all they did there was just isolate Calvin Duncan one-on-one on Jeff Hall, and Duncan won the battle.
Duncan is only 6'3". Wagner, Jeff Hall had the open shot, didn't take it. Crook inside, pass, foul call just before he passed the ball. Try to get it over to Billy Thompson. Herbert Crook, the freshman out of Louisville.
Pretty good pass he threw here, actually.
Yes, it is.
Well, they did get a hand through to knock it out, but he had a good idea. In this
Schlegel was very alert there.
The substitution that came in, McSwain is playing the center position for Louisville.
Oh, nice move by Milt Wagner inside with a left hand on the layup. Louisville regains that lead. It's 12-10. Wagner with 4 is the only Cardinal who has scored more than 1 basket. Hall scored, Sumter, Forrest, and Thompson along with Milt. Louisville has that 2-point lead right now at 12-10. Lamb down to the left side. They isolated Duncan. His jumper. No, a little bit short. Schlegel had good inside position, but he couldn't get the rebound. Wagner. Good spin move. Milton blocked from behind, however, goes out of bounds. Rondo Lamb got a piece of the ball. It'll belong to the Cardinals.
Milt claiming he got fouled, but it did look like a pretty good block from here.
Now let's see if we can tell. It was a good spin move right there, and as he goes up, now he got the ball, didn't he? And a hand, maybe.
Well, it still looked good to me. Milt still thinks he got fouled.
Hall to Wagner. Up, tipped away from him. Jeff Hall, heads up play, Jeff. Down to Herbert Crook. His jumper inside. Yes, the freshman scores.
Herbert is an excellent shooter, and one thing for a freshman, if he won't get too lost in trying to think about things and learning the system, if he'll just keep that shooting touch, it can help him a lot, and we saw it there from Herbert Crook.
Basketball is a game of action and reaction. You don't have time to think about it. Blocked by Billy Thompson right up against the board, and pulled down by Billy T. Moving the other way. Over to Jeff Hall. And they'll bring it out to Milt. Milt from long range. Oh, I thought that was in. McSwain runs it down for the Cardinals. Inside, nice pass. Herbert Crook lost it. And does it go out of bounds? No. There's a fight mad scramble for it underneath, and we'll have a jump ball. Billy Thompson will go up for Louisville. I believe that it will be Michael Brown for Virginia Commonwealth. Chris West coming into the lineup for Louisville. He replaces Jeff Hall.
They ruled a jump ball. Louisville won the opening tip. Shouldn't it be Virginia Commonwealth's possession? They're giving it to Louisville.
I believe that the Virginia Commonwealth coach is pointing that out right now to the officials.
Right, he is, and they're going to get it.
You could hear him everywhere in the arena. Oh, what an amazing record.
I think maybe the crowd is booing because they think J.D. Barnett talked the officials into something, but he merely called something to their attention that they had missed.
Louisville leads 14-10. Rams of Virginia Commonwealth. Kicked out of bounds by Milt Wagner. One player for the Louisville Cardinals we won't see tonight, or apparently any this season at all, is the third man, the part of that trio from Camden, New Jersey. I'm talking about Kevin Walls. He's continued to have knee problems ever since he came to the university. And he will have arthroscopic knee surgery in the very near future. Lego brings it back out front to Lamb. Inside, yes. Jumper is good by Darrell Reed, 6'6" freshman who scores. And Louisville's lead is back down to 2. It's been a rugged basketball game with really hard-nosed defense played so far. Swain, nice pass. Herbert Crook, his shot, no good. Rebounded by Mr. Brown. The Rams with a chance to tie it up here. Virginia Commonwealth, very patient. Nice pass inside and a basket. Yes, it'll count the foul call. I think it's against Herbert Crook.
Well, Darrell Reed, a big, strong freshman, 6'6", 230 pounds, and watch him go up strong here and draw the foul from behind by Herbert Crook and get a chance to make it a three-point trip.
Virginia Commonwealth with an opportunity to regain that lead. We're almost halfway through the first half here in Freedom Hall. And Virginia Commonwealth has the lead, 15-14. Thompson, double team, right across the timeline to Chris West, over to Milt. Milt makes his move, tipped away from him, slapped out of his hands. Lamb going the other way, good fake, blocked by Chris West. What a block by West. Inside, jumper, no good. Rebounded by West. What a big defensive play that was by Chris. Jumper, right side, no. Battle for it, Duncan claims it for the Rams. Well, that would have produced some cheers here in Freedom Hall if the Cardinals could have scored after that excellent defensive play by Chris West, because that was a great move by Duncan. Tipped around, saved. Only temporarily by Louisville. Rams still have it. They also have the lead by 1, 15-14. Lamb and Duncan still operating the show at guards. Brown on one wing and Reed at the other. Shot, no good. Foul, Milt Wagner.
We might point out that they are playing with the 45-second clock, and with that clock, there is no 5-second count when you are guarding a man. The only 5-second count is if he picks up the ball and can't get rid of it to anyone. He can dribble all he wants, and the 5-second count, the old hash marks on the floor, are meaningless now. That is, when you are in a game as this is, where the 45-second clock is being used. It will be used in the Metro Conference this year, and it is used through the entire game. They won't turn it off in the final few minutes.
9:21 to go here in the first half. Virginia Commonwealth trying to add to its lead right now, which they do. And a substitution coming in, but before he comes in and plays a little bit of basketball, there's a timeout here in Freedom Hall. 9:21 remaining in the first half. We'll be right back. Right now against Virginia Commonwealth, Louisville earlier had scored 3 straight baskets to take a 14-10 lead. But right now, the Cardinals find themselves trailing by 3 points to the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth at 17-14.
Dave, for the first time tonight, I can hear you. We just made an adjustment during that timeout, so if I have been talking over you, I apologize, and to the listeners, I apologize, but we finally got things straightened out. You are here with us, huh?
Yes, indeed I am. Look at this block by Chris West, because that was a strong move by Rolando Lamb. Unfortunately, the Cardinals could not convert that into a basket at the other end. And that's one of the reasons they're down by 3 right now. Look at the free throw situation. Louisville hasn't even gone to the line, Paul. And Virginia Commonwealth has gone there 5 times and made all 5, and Louisville has the rebound advantage right now. Bad pass, finally recovered by Milt Wagner. Cardinals in need of a basket. 9 minutes remaining in the first half.
Virginia Commonwealth back in that 3-2 zone they were using.
Chris West and Milt Wagner at the guards right now. Manuel Forrest and Billy Thompson at the forward spots. Pass almost intercepted. It was a bad pass, lazy pass. Jeff Hall coming back in for Louisville, replacing Chris West. And Barry Sumter's also out there. So right now, Louisville has the starting 5 on the floor. As we get below the 9-minute mark here in this low-scoring first half. Louisville down by 3. Milt Wagner from long range. No foul called. It was against number 24, the freshman Darrell Reed. So this will be the first free throw opportunity as another Ram comes into the lineup. One of the starters, the guard spot, Rolando Lamb. This will be the... Was this not a shooting foul, Paul? Apparently.
I think he came in and hit him after the shot.
Okay. So I stand corrected. We will not have Louisville going to the line for the first time tonight. It's 4 team fouls against Virginia Commonwealth. The 1-3-1 zone, isn't it, that they're using?
Yeah, it is this trip. They really do. We told you before the game they'll change up their defenses a lot. We've seen a 3-2.
Lost out of bounds.
Man-to-man. 1-3-1, and I think maybe what you saw there was part of what they're trying to do. Not that Louisville doesn't recognize that's a 1-3-1, but you're constantly adjusting. You're changing the way you're running your offense, and it's difficult to establish a rhythm. The defense keeps you off balance.
Brown on the move, brings it back out front. That's Lamb. 8:15 remaining in the first half. The Rams leading Louisville by 3. Looking to go up by more right now. Michael Brown left side out front to Duncan. He scored 24 in the season opener. He only has 2 tonight. That's Lamb. Taken away from him from behind. Tipped by Milt Wagner, and Manuel Forrest pulls it down. So the Cardinals with another opportunity to cut that deficit. Out front, Wagner all the way in. Finger roll. Got it. Nice pass from Barry Sumter. Louisville moves to within 1. 19,000 plus on hand tonight in Freedom Hall, renovated Freedom Hall. What a beautiful place to play basketball.
You know, though, it doesn't look as big. It seems much more compact. You really don't feel like there are even as many people in here as it is in the old structure.
Sure is nice. It doesn't feel, you can't get the feeling at all that the floor is actually, how far was it?
About 15, lower? 12 or 15 feet lower, I think.
And you can't feel that at all. Coming up on the 7-minute mark here in the first half. Fadeaway jumper. No. Rebounded by Schlegel. Blocked and a foul called against Barry Sumter. Then it come off the bench. Motioning to Barry Sumter. Get on the other side of that man. Don't let him get in there and get that offensive rebound. You can see Schlegel. Do you see his left arm there? He's a strong individual. He just moved Barry out of there. And that's not easy to do because Barry's not small this year. He's put on some weight. 6'11", what, 230?
He's listed this year as 235.
That's the first free throw in this game that Virginia Commonwealth has missed. Mike Schlegel had hit 7 out of 9 in the season opener for the Rams. 7:01 remaining in the first half. Virginia Commonwealth leading Louisville. They miss the second one. By only one, Louisville can regain the lead here. Wagner lost control momentarily, lays it up and in. The Cardinals back in the lead by 1. Wagner hits 2 in a row. Pressure's on by Louisville, but the pass goes to the left side, and he moves into the front court. That's Rolando Land. 18-17 Cardinals. Whoop, forget that lead for Louisville. Give it back on that basket by Michael Brown to Virginia Commonwealth. We're playing seesaw right here. Inside, nice pass. Billy Thompson. And we have seen some very nice passes tonight by both sides. Put up, nope. He forced that one. I think he was trying to draw the foul. Wake was, and instead he missed the shot.
Yeah, Thompson was perfectly planted inside. That was a good no call.
Gary Sumter, yes. And he got fouled. That was a strong move by Barry there because he faked the return pass when he got it and then turned very quickly. Take another look at this. You see, he gets that, he fakes it back to Milt, then he turns around and hits that jumper, and the man got him right on the forehead. Foul against Schlegel. Free throw coming up for Sumter. Possible three-point play. Louisville's back in the lead now by 3. Sumter only had 1 free throw at Indiana. He missed that one, so now he's 0 for 2 in the season. Louisville had a 4-point lead earlier. That's been their biggest lead of this game so far. That was 14-10. Right now, they're only up by 3 over this basketball team, Virginia Commonwealth. Jumper left side. Boy, nothing but the bottom of the net by Lamb. Louisville's lead is back down to 1. This team won 23 games last year, and every starter is back, Paul. This team's tough. Sumter, yes. Oh, Barry is turning it on tonight. He's got 6. 24-21, Louisville. Michael Brown to Lamb. Looking for Duncan down low. Duncan likes to post up inside, too, with the guards. This is the way Louisville likes to post up its guards. Got a good screen there. On the switch, Louisville makes the steal. Jeff Hall got a piece of it. Manuel Forrest pulls up. Takes the shot. Yes. Louisville's biggest lead, it's 5. 26-21. Double team foul called against Jeff Hall. 4:55 remaining in the first half. Louisville right now is enjoying its biggest lead of the first half. That's the second personal foul against Jeff Hall. UC Manuel can that one. That one put Louisville up by 5. We'll be right back. Difference in this basketball game so far, you're looking at it. Field goal shooting percentages. Louisville 52%. Virginia Commonwealth 38. As a matter of fact, Paul, Louisville has its biggest lead right now of 5 thanks to the field goals they have. 13 compared to only 8. That's a difference of 10 points. And the spread right now is 5. Those have been made up at the free throw line.
The biggest question mark about this team, at least probably the biggest concern Denny Crum had, was its defense, how well it would play defense. And against Indiana, again here tonight, they have played outstanding defense.
They are really putting forth the effort. Nice pass inside Duncan. Blocked from behind by...
I think it was McSwain that got
I think
it.
It was, yes. That was a quick reflex that time. Very quick reaction by Mark McSwain. Lamb out front, can't get the shot over Jeff Hall. Schlegel makes the fake, puts it up off the glass. He has a good fake, got Manuel off his feet. Louisville's lead back down to 3. It's 26-23. Coming up on the 4-minute mark, remaining here in the first half. Manuel Forrest outside, didn't get it. McSwain tips it, didn't get it. Knocked out of bounds by Barry Sumter, belongs to the Rams, I believe. Yes. Don't forget at halftime, coming up, not that coach, and not the coach of the Louisville basketball Cardinals, but the new head football coach at the University of Louisville. Conversation with Howard Schnellenberger. So stay with us for that. Going to have a big door in his office to get the name on there, don't you think? Jumper from the side, no good. Manuel Forrest skies to claim the rebound.
He's a big name coach in more ways than one, isn't
Yes,
he?
indeed he is. Sumter inside. Jeff Hall open for the jumper. Yes. Louisville back up again by 5. It's 28-23. 3:36 and counting remaining in the first half. Duncan to Brown. Into the lane. Shovels it off. Laid up and in. Barry Sumter got hit in the mouth that time as number 41, Alvin Robinson, laid it up and in and may have cut his lip.
Barry was, I thought for a moment, holding his throat as if maybe he had taken an elbow into Adam's apple or something. See if we can tell.
Yeah, it looks like he got it run underneath the chin, Paul.
Just as he went up for the shot.
Yes, with the elbow. When Robinson went up, Barry was standing there and just got caught right underneath the chin.
Dr. Rudy Ellis and Jerry May, the trainer, looking at it.
Sometimes that can be lights out, you know. Billy Thompson comes back into the lineup for Louisville once play resumes, but right now Barry Sumter is still being attended to. Leading scorers so far in the game, Milt Wagner with 8 points for Louisville. Barry Sumter has 6. Thompson, Forrest, and Hall with 4 apiece. Herbert Crook came in and scored 1 bucket for 2 points. For Virginia Commonwealth, 6 points for Rolando Lamb. Schlegel has 6. 5 off the bench for Reed. 4 points for Brown. Wake hasn't scored. Neither, and Duncan has 2 along with Robinson, the freshman. Duncan, talking about Calvin Duncan, he scored 24 in the opener for Virginia Commonwealth against East Carolina. Tonight he only has 2 points. Louisville basketball. Louisville lead, but it's only 3. Bad pass. Really bad pass by Milt Wagner that time. Laid up, blocked by Billy Thompson. He got the man, he got the foul, but he also got the block.
Thompson and Forrest both crashed into him.
Billy was up in the air, and he's a man, I believe yes.
I think they did get him for the foul, although really it looked like he might have gotten his body around him, and it might have been Forrest who hit him. I think the foul was on Thompson. I never did get it for sure whether it was Thompson or Forrest.
Neither did I. Free throws good by Michael Brown.
It was on Thompson.
Virginia Commonwealth, with those free throws here in the first half, have remained close to Louisville. And right now they're back to within 1. Coming up on the 3-minute mark of this first half. Hall, baseline, left side, no. Tipped up, no. Milt Wagner had it, still has it on the baseline left side. Out to Manuel Forrest. Pass inside, lost. Up against the backboard. It'll belong to Louisville. Manuel had the shot and tried to dump it off inside. Maybe 1 pass too many in that situation.
Yeah, there was quite a crowd of black jerseys around inside on that pass.
Louisville's lead a few minutes ago was 5. That is their biggest lead here in the first half, and right now it's only 1. 2:45 remaining in the first half. Hall looking inside for McSwain. Jumper outside, no. Rebounded. Picked up by the Rams. Lamb off the glass, no, didn't get it. Tipped around and finally pulled down by Mark McSwain. Outlet pass goes to Manuel Forrest very quickly up court. Wagner lost the control of the ball, gives it back to Manuel. Louisville needs to settle down a little bit here and set up a good play and then execute it. 2:17 and counting remaining in the first half. Forrest cross court. The pick set perfectly by Mark McSwain to free Jeff Hall right along the baseline, and he cans it. 30-27. Give the I know you give the assist to the man who made the pass, but you also ought to give an assist to the man who set the pick that freed Jeff Hall down there.
Yeah, Mark really set a big one, too. That guy had to go to midcourt to get around him.
What a specimen he is. He is Mr. Physique here for the Louisville basketball Cardinals. Bad pass that time and stolen by Duncan. Well, maybe it's not always a bad pass. Maybe it's just great defense, you know? Looks like a bad pass when the man intercepts it anyway. You see the turnovers. Louisville 6, Virginia Commonwealth only 1. Duncan Back out front. That's Brown. It is 30-27. Louisville's lead is 3. We're in the final minute and a half of the first half. Good fake by Lamb. Got the roll, yes. Well, I'll tell you, these two guards are tough. Now, Duncan has only scored 2 points, but Rolando Lamb has 8 here in the first half. Lamb scored only 7 points in the season opener. So he is picking up against Louisville instead of Duncan. 30-29.
VCU's back in that 3-2 alignment now, and Louisville is just going to, with the lead, apparently make them come out and get them.
49 seconds and counting remaining in the first half, and don't forget about the shot clock, Paul. It's at 14 seconds right now. Out front, Billy Thompson. 9 on the shot clock. 30-29, Louisville by 1. Down to Manuel Forrest. Again, Mark McSwain sets the screen. This time he gets the rebound. Back up, no, didn't get it. On the floor, picked up, McSwain. No, Billy Thompson. Foul call, and he hits it. Big basket for Louisville. The basket will count, I believe, which will put the Cardinals back up by 3, and then the free throw coming up. Substitutions coming in as you take a look at the replay. Billy Thompson just came up with a loose ball right there. Got fouled going up. So it's 32-29. Louisville by 3 with only 25 seconds remaining in the first half, and a few more substitutions for the Cardinals. Who else came in here? I'm looking at Mike Abram for one. I thought, and Herbert Crook came in.
Mike Abrams seeing his first action, a freshman from Muncie, Indiana. Did not play against Indiana, and he'll play the final 25 seconds here.
Billy T missed the free throw, but Herbert Crook somehow comes out of there with a rebound. The shot clock is off.
That's a good move on Denny Crum's part. You can get a little experience from Mike Abrams, just get him a little feel of it. There's only 20 seconds to go. It gets him in the game, gets his feet wet, and in a situation where probably not a whole lot can happen. Good move.
Nice pass. Jeff Hall to Mark McSwain. 4 seconds to go in the first half. 2 seconds to go in the first half. That is the end of the first half. And the Louisville Cardinals have matched their biggest lead here at halftime of the entire first half. They are up by 5. Heck of a basketball game coming at you tonight from renovated Freedom Hall in front of 19,000. Louisville at the half, leading Virginia Commonwealth 34-29.
A very exciting day for this man. This is Howard Schnellenberger, the new football coach. And Howard, it's got to have been an exhausting day, but I guess one that has been kind of fun too.
Well, it's exhilarating, naturally, when you come back home and to have the type of reception that we've had here today, my family, my mother, my relatives, but it's just been exhilarating. It's been a very big day in our lives. I'm really delighted that this thing has worked out and where we've been given the opportunity to come back to a program that we have a chance to turn around and make great things happen, and I'm looking forward to that.
I know you've been asked this all day, and you've been asked it for the last month, but a month ago, the name Howard Schnellenberger came up for the job at U of L, and people thought, you got to be kidding. Today you're here. What brought it about?
Well, I think it's a real tribute to the University of Louisville, to the city of Louisville, and to the potential of the athletic department and the football team. Really, the people make these things happen. And the way we were received and the effort that was put into bringing us here and what appears and what is a commitment to have this program become of a national caliber is just too exciting and too challenging to turn down.
You have some recruits here tonight taking all this in, I think, don't you?
Well, we did. There's about 8 or 10 great local kids here. We had a chance to talk to several of them. I asked them to just keep their minds open, let us come in, establish ourselves, give us a chance to visit with they and their parents, because this is a great opportunity, and this is the type of thing that pioneer football players can dream of, the championship, very similarly the way the kids did at Miami in 1978.
What is your personal timetable for getting here permanently and getting everything in motion?
Well, I have to go back to Miami tomorrow to take care of some things that need to be taken care of. I'm going to use that as a base of operation for about 2 days. There's some coaching situations I have to look into down there. There's also some recruiting possibilities that I have to check out. Then we'll come back. I want to spend time interviewing all the staff that's already here at the university. We're going to certainly look into all of those and then get into the recruiting thing very quickly.
Congratulations. It's great to have you, and good luck.
Well, appreciate it. I'm looking forward to a great relationship and a lot of hard work.
Louisville leading at half, 34-29 over Virginia Commonwealth. We'll be right back.
Back out onto the court in front of 19,242. nursing a 12-point lead. It is 54-42 right now. Louisville in the second half shooting a sizzling 64% on 9 of 14. Virginia Commonwealth 60%, 6 out of 10. As far as the intimidation factor is concerned in this basketball game, Paul, Louisville has 7 blocks in the game. Virginia Commonwealth has none. That's intimidation as far as defense is concerned, too.
Louisville owning the 12-point lead. Jeff Hall taking it down to the baseline. Forces a shot. There were only 2 seconds on the shot clock when he let it go. It was about at 15 or so when they called a timeout, and it does not reset. So Hall was in a position where he had to let the ball go, even though he didn't have a very good shot.
Manuel seems to be limping underneath the basket a little bit, too. He may have turned his foot.
Very noticeably. In fact, he almost fell down. Here goes Duncan. You can see, I'll guarantee you if Manuel Forrest was hurt, he'd have dove.
First half, they've only made 1 out of 5 here in the second half. Inbounds pass thrown away by Commonwealth. It belongs to Louisville.
Louisville had a real rash of turnovers there for a while. Their shooting percentage is good, but they never got any shots off when they kept throwing the ball away. That time they got one from VCU.
I believe Louisville's had close to at least a dozen turnovers in the ballgame.
Inside to Thompson. Billy had the shot right at first, but they were able to get to him before he was able to turn around and get it up. Louisville unofficially with 12 turnovers by our count. They had 6 in the first half.
Good pass inside and excellent hands displayed there by Billy Thompson, being able to control that ball in a crowd. The foul is against Schlegel, and that is his 3rd. So that's 3 players in this basketball game with 3. 2 for Louisville, Billy Thompson and Barry Sumter, and Schlegel for Commonwealth.
Billy Thompson, the Camden, New Jersey junior, hits his first free throw of the night. Billy is a good free throw shooter.
That's Louisville's first free throw of the night they've made. Right? 1 out of 3?
Sure is.
And we have played, 3/4 of this basketball game.
Thompson's 2 for 2 with 14 points. And Louisville's lead is 12.
It's also 8 straight points for Louisville.
And low to Schlegel. Nice touch.
So much for that run.
10 for Schlegel, a senior from Bay Shore, New York. One of those guys who isn't real quick and doesn't jump well, but gets in a good position and knows how to get the ball where it belongs. Chris West in trouble, and now McSwain's in trouble, and they take it away. Good pivot move by Blam, and then it's stolen away by West. He loses it in underneath, laid up, and then by Michael Brown. (48-40), so the Rams score 4 straight points. No good by West. Rebounded by Calvin Duncan. Here goes Lamb all the way. Rebounded by McSwain. Hall is alone. The lead is back to 10. Barry Sumter will enter the game for Louisville. Probably for McSwain. Let's see. Yes, Mark McSwain goes out of the game. Has scored 4 points. Sumter had been on the bench with 3 fouls. Barry, the sophomore, at 6'11", from Lovejoy, Illinois. And also Herbert Crook, a freshman from Louisville Eastern High School, is in the game for the Cards. VCU ball trailing by 10, 9:18 to go in the game. Lamb and Brown together now. This is Brown taking it up the floor. Duncan has gone out of the game, and that was him that you saw J.D. Burnett talking to a moment ago. 33 is Don Franco. He walks. That is a call, Dave, that they have what they call points of emphasis or something along the lines where it's not a rule change, but they seem to kind of call it to the attention of the officials. And that traveling call is supposed to be the thing, one of the things they're supposed to keep a close watch for this year is that traveling call, not letting a guy get a running start just as he tried to do then.
A moment ago, you saw Calvin Duncan coming back into the lineup for Virginia Commonwealth. Louisville's biggest lead has been 12. They're up by 10 now, and they have the ball. Jeff Hall into Thompson. Got it.
Looks pretty simple when you do it that way.
That was a good pass inside. That's the key. And then, of course, the offensive man has to get that position. You let any guy get it in that close, he's unstoppable.
Nice pass by Duncan. And a good running lay-in by Schlegel, who now has 12. 52-42.
Would have been nice to see somebody take a charge in there that time.
West probably should have gone ahead and shot it. Again, tried to pass it into a crowd. Duncan was on the end line when he came down with the ball. VCU again in the zone on the inbounds play. West is fouled. Michael Brown gets him, and that is his second. They do play good defense, but they also do a good bit of reaching. And earlier, the Louisville bench was crying about that quite a bit, about the reaching in and stabbing at the ball and knocking it away and fouling. Jeff Hall. 12 points for Hall, who scored 10 in the opener. Out of bounds. Schlegel couldn't handle the pass, and Louisville will get it right back.
Well, that's a team defense that creates that. Not one particular man, but everybody working as a unit creates that kind of pressure with a man throwing the ball in. May throw it just a little bit off target, just enough.
Hall chases down the deflected pass. It's not over and back because Rolando Lamb got a hand on it. 7:50 to go. Louisville up by 12. Equals their biggest lead. Thompson lost it.
That's his fourth.
And then they get him for the foul, trying to get the ball back. That is his fourth. Louisville will play Athletes in Action here Monday night. You'll see that game on a tape delay. It is an exhibition, but boy, what a team AIA has put together this year. They have beaten Memphis. They've beaten Purdue. They beat Duke. Thompson there committing his fourth foul, and again, he just looked like he was rolling on the floor when they called him for that one, and he's going to go to the bench. So that'll be Louisville's next outing. Then next weekend, they go to the Wendy's Classic in Bowling Green. You'll see both those games live here on Channel 11. Schlegel for one in the bonus. He hasn't hit a free throw tonight. He has missed all 5 attempts now. Louisville's ball out of bounds.
Virginia Commonwealth putting that full court pressure on because of the turnover factor for Louisville so far in the game, Paul. They have 13. I'd press Louisville too.
The foul by Calvin Duncan. That's just 5 fouls this half on Virginia Commonwealth. So they'll have one more to commit before Louisville will go to the line. Cardinals ball out at midcourt. Chris West takes it, works on Lamb, over the line. You see West kind of gaining a little confidence in himself as he's gotten the playing time. This is by far the most he's ever played in a game. "20 seconds on the shot clock. Timeout, says Chris West. That's the first one Louisville has used, and it comes with 7:09 left in the game. The Cards owning a 12-point lead. It's 54-42.
In this basketball game in Freedom Hall tonight as Denny Crum sends his Louisville Cardinals back out onto the court in front of 19,242, nursing a 12-point lead. It is 54-42 right now. Louisville in the second half shooting a sizzling 64%. On 9 of 14, Virginia Commonwealth 60%, 6 out of 10. As far as the intimidation factor is concerned in this basketball game, Paul, Louisville has 7 blocks in the game. Virginia Commonwealth has none. That's intimidation as far as defense is concerned, too.
Louisville owning the 12-point lead. Jeff Hall taking it down to the baseline. Forces a shot. There were only 2 seconds on the shot clock when he let it go. It was about at 15 or so when they called a timeout, and it does not reset. So Hall was in a position where he had to let the ball go, even though he didn't have a very good shot.
Manuel seems to be limping underneath the basket a little bit, too. He may have turned his foot.
Very noticeably. In fact, he almost fell down. Here goes Duncan. You can see, I'll guarantee you if Manuel Forrest was hurt, he'd have dove right on top of that stack, but he just can't do it.
Now Manuel's holding his right ankle.
So Manuel's going to have to come out of the game. Louisville, if you just joined us, has already lost Milt Wagner to a foot injury. In fact, they had to take Milt to the hospital to have it x-rayed. Herbert Crook back in, replacing Forrest.
Billy Thompson over on the bench with 4 personal fouls.
Well, Louisville's inexperienced players getting tested early in the season here. Blocked by Sumter.
That's 8 blocks in the game.
Intimidation you were talking about?
Right.
6 minutes, 5 seconds left in the game. 54-42 Louisville. Nice shot by Jeff Hall. Boy, he has such a beautiful shooting touch. Has 14 points tonight. And that's the biggest lead for the Cards. Schlegel takes it in on McSwain. Looks like he charged. Follow-up is good. That's Duncan.
Not many people will agree with that call, or the no call, rather.
Herbert Crook dishes it off to Sumter over to Hall. There's that shot by Jeff. Tipped by Sumter.
That's Louisville's biggest lead, 14.
Calvin Duncan pulls up. Out of bounds. It'll belong to U of L.
And you got to remember, Paul, early in the second half, Milt Wagner goes out with an injury, your leading scorer, coming back from last year, right? All-America candidated guard. At the time, you are leading 36-31 when Wagner goes to the hospital, and Barry Sumter shortly thereafter picks up his 3rd personal foul and goes to the bench. And now you're up by 14. The young people have come through.
Chris West misses. Somebody get it. Finally, they call a foul on Virginia Commonwealth, and frankly, that's one that I think VCU has a legitimate complaint about because nobody really had the ball. Nobody was in control of it. Everybody was diving for it.
I believe that's the 4th personal foul on Schlegel, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
.449 remaining in the game. Louisville by 14 right now.
McSwain, the out-of-bounds man, looking to get it in. Has it batted away.
This has been a hard-fought basketball game.
Really has, and it doesn't seem to me like Louisville has a 14-point lead. I mean, they do. It's on the scoreboard, but they've really had to work hard for it. You don't feel like they're really in control of the game yet. We are under the 5-minute mark now. Foul on Calvin Duncan. Three fouls on Calvin Duncan.
Louisville has controlled the rebounding in both the first and the second half. In total rebounds, the Cardinals have 35. Virginia Commonwealth, 24. There's the reach-in foul against Duncan. So Barry will go to the line for the 1-and-1.
1+1 coming up for Barry Sumter.
Has he made one yet this season? Has he made a free throw yet this season? I don't believe so.
Offhand how many, if any, he shot against Indiana, but he has missed his only try tonight.
He had one against Indiana. He missed it. So he's 0 for 2. Come on, Barry. Make it 1 for 3.
Rebound foul on McSwain. I believe it went over the back. Sumter is a good shooter. It's always been a little bit of a mystery to me how good shooters are not necessarily good free throw shooters. Remember, Darrell Carrier used to shoot a jump shot on the foul line.
For a free throw?
Yeah, that's the way he shot best, and so he just shot his free throws.
I really believe that some players would be much more comfortable not only shooting a jump shot, but if somebody would guard them when they're hitting, trying to hit free throws. I remember when, Jeff Hall's freshman year. He was a fabulous shooter in high school, of course, and is a great pure shooter.
Schlegel missed it on the rebound, has it back again, and is fouled again.
But Jeff did not shoot very well as a freshman from the free throw line. Milt Wagner had the same problem, if you'll recall. He shot over 90% in high school and shot maybe 50% from the free throw line as a freshman. Yeah, I don't know how you explain those things.
Mike Schlegel has missed all 5 of his attempts.
Well, he's on a roll, isn't he?
They're only 1 for 10 this half after hitting 7 of 9 in the first. 58-44 Louisville. So Schlegel breaks the drought. He has 13 points. Scored 21 in the opening win. He and Duncan scored over 20 points apiece in that first game win over East Carolina. Duncan has only 7 tonight. Schlegel hits 2 in a row.
Schlegel's a hard worker. He's only 6'8", and he's really worked hard.
McSwain had a little trouble getting it in. When Crook caught the inbounds pass, he was fouled. So now Herbert Crook is going to shoot for Louisville. Cards lead is 12 with 4.5 minutes left to play. Louisville is 23-4 in the first game of the season at Freedom Hall. So they're pretty close to getting their 24th win. Overall at Freedom Hall, they've won better than 88% of their games. And of course, this is the first game in the newly renovated Freedom Hall.
Michael Brown with a very close haircut. Kind of reminds you of Michael Graham almost, who is not playing this year for Georgetown. If he were, didn't have any hair at all, it'd be close.
No good by Crook. McSwain tried to tip the rebound to himself, but couldn't do it, and then fouls.
Almost got a tee because he he demonstrated.
It's probably
his
a good thing he
there.
turned away as he was stomping.
Denny Crum over talking with Mark McSwain and sending him back into the battle here. The time is on the side of the Cardinals right now, Paul, with 4:32 remaining.
Alvin Duncan draws the bonus try.
Look out, here comes Virginia Commonwealth starting to make those free throws again.
Denny Crum looks down his bench, and let's see, he just called on somebody. That's
James
Jetter.
He hit a couple of big free throws at Indiana.
James very quick and a good ball handler, and he's going to get him in here late in the game. Here comes Hall working it up by himself against the press. The lead is 10 for Louisville. Cards looking for their second win of the young season. Hall over to Thompson. Louisville will be patient, but we do have the 45-second clock, remember, so they can't go into any kind of all-out stall. 15 seconds on the shot clock. There goes Crook.
Big basket, and he got fouled. Big basket by the freshman out of Louisville Eastern.
As soon as that ball went through the basket, Billy Thompson broke out in a big grin and went right up to Herbert and gave him a congratulatory hand slap, and Herbert Crook will go to the line.
Well, he's a good shooter, isn't he?
Excellent shooter. Missed his only previous free throw try.
Louisville hasn't been to the line very much tonight. 7 times, that's all.
That's a nice soft touch. Good arch on his free throw. The lead is back up to 13 for the Cards. 14 has been the biggest they've had. Less than 4 minutes to go now. Brown missed it. Rebound put back up. No good by Wake. And Thompson comes out of there with it. J.D. Barnett did not like that shot too much, I don't think. James Jetter is talking to Denny Crum. Has not gone up to the scores table to check in yet. He may at the next break, though. Shot clock down to 20 seconds now. Thompson with it. Ball's open. Missed the shot. Jeff's man actually didn't get screened off then. He just left him. But Jeff missed the open shot. But then we have the foul on the Cards. That is 3 fouls on McSwain. And they'll be shooting the free throws with 3:12 to go.
Well, the worst part is letting them score if they hit these free throws without any time running off the clock, and I'm sure that's what Coach Crum was telling Mark McSwain just a minute ago. They're in the 1-and-1. Don't commit the foul. Make them work for it.
Manuel Forrest back up off the bench, so apparently his earlier injury isn't too serious. Mark McSwain gets a good hand as he leaves the game. Mark scored 4 points. Showed a lot of hustle. Schlegel hits the free throw. Now he's hit 3 in a row after he had missed his first 5. He has 15 points. Leading scorer in the game for Virginia Commonwealth, Thompson has 15 for Louisville. Jeff Hall has 14. Schlegel out of Bay Shore, New York. The senior hits another one. 61-50 Louisville. 3:12 to go. Full court pressed by VCU. Double team on Chris West, having trouble. Throws a bad pass, but traveling, or a foul on Hall. Yep. I thought just for a second that Brown traveled as he came down with the ball, but Jeff Hall hit him with a foul just as he was catching the pass.
Is what J.D. Barnett, the basketball coach of Virginia Commonwealth, was telling his players as they came out of the locker room at halftime. That is, put pressure on them. Keep that defensive pressure on Louisville. They committed a lot of turnovers in the first half. They'll commit more. If we can keep that pressure on, we'll get that basketball back, especially late in the contest. And we have 3:07 to go. It's going to come down, Paul, and Louisville control the basketball. If they can control it, they can win this one.
Michael Brown misses, and Herbert Crook rebounds. So the lead stays at 11 for the Cards. Plus, when they miss the free throw, it's harder to put the press on the Cards. Chris West for the ball over to Crook. Foul, and Manuel Forrest will go to the line as he was fouled by Lamb.
Virginia Commonwealth reminds me a lot of Louisville, the way the Cardinals play. They'll double team. They're very quick. They like to trap. Everything is there. It's like playing yourself.
Well, Louisville's had a lot of practice at that.
Yep.
Manuel Forrest with the free throw.
Cardinals didn't have very many opportunities in the first half, if you'll recall, at the free throw line. Only 2, didn't they?
They were 0 for 2 in the first half, right. Forrest with 7 points. The senior from Louisville hits. And it's 63-50 Louisville. Lamb, double team, gets it away. Bounce pass into Schlegel, loses it out of bounds. Jeff Hall put a little pressure on him from behind, and he couldn't handle the pass. Now James Jeter is going to enter the game for Louisville. He'll come in for West. Chris did a good job tonight. Did not score, but handled the ball well.
He came through when they needed him when Milt Wagner went out with that foot injury.
Look at traveling called on Thompson. Virginia Commonwealth's ball again with 2:40 to go. Michael Brown out of bounds into Duncan. Back out to Lamb. Brown shoots over Jeter, missed it. Rebound put back up and in by Brown. By Brown. 63-52. The double team again, and a dangerous pass is intercepted. Duncan hits. It's 63-54, and timeout for the Cards, who have had a little trouble handling the pressure. Virginia Commonwealth coming back. They trail just by 9 at 63-54. The Cards have not handled the pressure of Virginia Commonwealth very well here in the last couple of minutes. VCU has forced some turnovers on the full court press, and with 2:15 to go, Louisville's lead is 63-54.
They've committed 11 turnovers here in the second half, and they had much too many in the first half. Matter of fact, they've had 17 so far in the game. For Louisville, 9 for Virginia Commonwealth.
They get it out to Jeter, who broke down the floor. They got a double team on him, and he calls a timeout.
Smart move, Jeff.
That's the third one Louisville has used, which means they'll have one more to carry them through the rest of the way. That time, Louisville beat the press by going long with a pass, but Virginia Commonwealth got back very quickly and again got the double team on Jeter, and they got it in the right spot, because when you can double team right out here at midcourt, you got in effect 4 defensive men, because you've got your 2 men and the sideline and the midcourt line that he can't go back over.
And Jeter knew that Virginia Commonwealth was about to call checkmate, and he very promptly called a timeout. That was a smart move. Of course, that's what you expect out of a senior guard, right?
That's what Denny Crum was expecting out of him. He put him in late in the Indiana game, and he came through handling the ball well, hitting a couple of key free throws just when IU was getting back within striking distance. Right here, there's plenty of time left for VCU, trailing by only 9. at 63-54.
I know that Paul Denny was hoping in this situation as the season goes on, when he needs somebody to control the basketball, not only can he rely on James Jetter, he wanted to rely on Kevin Walls. Kevin Walls is an excellent free throw shooter. As a matter of fact, you know how Denny likes to talk about his shooting prowess? Well, in a free throw shooting contest recently with Kevin, Coach was telling me the other night during his during a commercial break during his coach's show that the coach himself hit 19 out of 20 free throws and lost to Kevin Walls, who hit 20 out of 20. Of course, Kevin is out apparently for the season because of that knee problem.
Milt Wagner has come back. I see him sitting on the end of the bench, and his foot is in a cast. It looks like a cast, at least from here. It could just be a very thick bandage, but it looks like a cast. Forrest off to Jetter. 2 minutes to go now. And a foul. Neil Waite bumps into West pretty hard.
It's been a very physical basketball game tonight, and these guys are going to be exhausted after they come down from the emotional high here. Well, what a game for Billy T. 7 out of 9 from the field, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Of course, he had a fabulous game up at Indiana, if you'll recall, in winning the season opener. Billy with 12 points and 6 rebounds and 7 assists up there.
Thompson was on the bench with 4 fouls. He's back in now. 1-1 for Chris West. VCU with a chance to cut it down even further. They trail by only 9. Duncan fouled as he goes up for the shot. They say it was on Billy Thompson. That'll be all for Billy. And I'm not sure Billy was that close to the play.
Well, he's fouled
Billy Thompson
out.
fouls out of the game with 16 points.
I don't know that I've ever heard them say, well, we got, maybe we got the wrong guy, but Billy Thompson's headed for the bench.
The word on Milt Wagner is he has a fracture of the foot, and he'll be out for at least 4 weeks.
It was a freak accident. I mean, he didn't run into anybody or, come down wrong or anything like that.
I don't think so, but Louisville's inexperienced players are really going to be put to the test to get them through December now. And, of course, that type of injury with the foot, as we mentioned earlier, is the kind of thing that can really bother you a long time. You've got to let it heal all the way because you put so much pressure on that part of the foot. Free throw is good by Duncan. And Virginia Commonwealth trails by only 8 with 1:45 left to play. Rebound by McSwain.
That's good for Louisville that he missed that because they can't put that pressure on in the backcourt.
West comes out on the floor. Jetter's with him. They want Jetter to handle the ball, and now he's got it. James will dribble through traffic.
Might get a wide open dunk out of this.
20 seconds on the shot clock. Ball back out to Jetter.
Remember late in the Indiana game, Paul, when they were running this, Jeff Hall snuck open underneath, wide open for a layup.
They'll run it to about 10, and then they got to go for the basket. It's at 10 now. Jetter having trouble finding someone. Bad pass. VCU has it. Stolen away by Jetter. That's the quickness. Good play by James Jetter to make up for the mistake on the bad pass. Less than a minute to go now. Foul on Michael Brown. That's all for Michael Brown. He leaves the game with 10. Michael Brown has started every game of his career. He won't finish this one. Well, that's his 4th, excuse me. I had him with 1 more. All 5 starters back from last year on VCU, and these are guys who have started 2 and 3 years. Brown, as we said, started every game of his career. And they'll be a force to be reckoned with very much in the Sun Belt Conference. They are the favorite in that league. They trail here by 8 at 63-55. Less than a minute to go in the game. That was their 2nd time out. And Louisville has less than a minute to protect its lead. I can remember a couple of years ago, Dave, Louisville went to UCLA and lost a game in the final minutes. When they turned the ball over, they did not run their stall game very well at all. Made some crucial turnovers, and UCLA won the game. After the game, Denny Crum was interviewed, and what was a typical Denny Crum reaction to a game, really, if you know Denny, was, well, I'm not too disappointed. We really played hard. We really played well, except at the very end. But we'll learn from this. And now we'll go back and practice, and when I say, fellas, we got to work on our four-corner offense, they won't say, oh, Coach. They're going to say, yeah, Coach, you're right. We'll work on it. I think you've seen a similar thing tonight with the press offense against this Virginia Commonwealth full-court press. And even the half-court press, Louisville's had a lot of trouble handling it. And these are the things that Denny Crum likes to do. He likes to play good teams, so his weaknesses are exposed early. And he can take his team back to practice and say, look, here's what we had trouble with. This is what we got to work on.
I know one of the things coming into this basketball game tonight against Virginia Commonwealth for Denny was that some of the players might come in fat. After all, they were a considerable underdog to Indiana. You're playing Indiana up there. Everybody remembers what happened when you opened in Rupp Arena a year ago. You got blown away. A lot of people are expecting you to be blown away again. And all of a sudden you beat the number 4 team in the preseason poll on their floor. And some of the players are saying, hey, we're not so bad, are we?
In fairness to the Cards and the VCU, I don't think that's been the case, though. I know it was a worry of Coach Crum's, but I think Louisville has played hard. Missed free throw, and it works out okay. They've got it right back. I think they've just been up against a strong, tough team, and they're aware of that.
Good hands by McSwain on that loose ball.
Louisville's lead is 8, 37 seconds to go, 30 on the shot clock. Back outside to West. Foul by Lamb.
It's a free throw shooting contest right now. You make them, you win.
Well, Louisville missed the last one, but the rebound came right back to the Cards, so they were able to run off some more time on the clock.
Well, I tell you, look at the way Crum plays the chessboard here in Freedom Hall. Now you got the man shooting the free throws. You bring Barry Sumter back in to get the size, the intimidating factor defensively. James Jeter goes out. Then when you get the ball back, Jeter comes back in because you got to have, missed the free throw.
Louisville may have him, Crum may have him back at the free throw line come practice time. 25 seconds to go. Duncan missed it. McSwain with a rebound, lost it. Out to West. He's going to pass it to Hall, but the foul will be back up the floor. And that was on Neil Wake, I think, was who got him. Virginia Commonwealth scrapping to the very end. Denny Crum, knowing that the chances are good for his team to get away with a win. They lead it by 8 with 20 seconds to go.
Denny was very upset in that situation when Virginia Commonwealth came down and almost had the layup, just blew the layup. But he was upset because one of the Cardinals, Barry or Mark, gave up the baseline. Coach says, don't give up the baseline.
Louisville has hit only 5 of 12 free throws, and they've missed quite a few right here down the stretch. Chris West will be back at the line again. J.D. Barnett taking time with his substitution.
What do you have, a full minute?
Yes, he has a minute to get the man back in. That foul was on Michael Brown, and that was his 5th. He fouls out of the game with 10 points. He will be replaced in the lineup by Don Franco, a sophomore who saw earlier action. He has not scored tonight. He's from Linden, New Jersey.
Well, you hate to see Milt Wagner sitting over there with that cast on his foot.
I was told earlier 4 weeks. Now the note we get says 6 weeks.
Okay. Well, by the time the word circulates, you may be out for 2.5 years with that. You know how rumors go. But the first thing we were told, which was right from, I would assume, Rudy Ellis or Jerry May, 4 weeks. But the thing that Denny is obviously pleased about is the way the team has come back tonight through the adversity of Wagner's injury and then Barry getting the 3rd personal foul. Big free throw there by Chris West. And these players have really put out tonight. The defensive effort has been fantastic.
Herbert Crook's going to come back in for the Cards. West tries to make it 2 straight. He got it. 65-55. That puts Louisville in pretty good shape with 20 seconds to go. Manuel Forrest leaves the game. Louisville doesn't want to foul. They still keep the all-court pressure on, but they're not going to put too much pressure. The shot, no good by Lamb. McSwain comes out of traffic with it, but it's taken away by Lamb. Tip, no good. West has it. 6 seconds. West over to McSwain.
This game is history.
That's a nice way to end it. Mark McSwain gets the final basket. And Louisville has what in the papers looks like an easy 12-point win.
In renovated Freedom Hall tonight before the largest crowd ever to see the Louisville Cardinals here. Over 19,000, and they all went home happy because the Cardinals posted a very impressive, under the circumstances, Paul, 12-point win over Virginia Commonwealth.
Well, they came through under some pretty tough conditions with Milt Wagner going out with the injury, and I guess a very good defensive team. Indiana's known as a good defensive team, and they are, but we saw some pretty good defense by both teams out here tonight. A lot of pressure, and the Cards come away a winner. They got 16 points out of Billy Thompson, 14 by Jeff Hall to lead them in scoring. The top man for Virginia Commonwealth was Mike Schlegel, who had 16. I think Denny Crum will be happy with the win, but in a lot of ways I think is maybe not as happy with this game as he was with the Indiana game because he saw some weaknesses in his team, I think.
Milt Wagner has apparently been lost for at least 4 weeks because of that injury, but nevertheless, the Louisville Cardinals pull out the victory tonight even without him. 67-55 the final.